welcome back to Miss P's class. Thank you for being here. Before we get started, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to share this video with another friend who may find it beneficial. All right, so today we are going to sew a flat felled seam. These are the seams that you see on the sides of jeans, on the inside of the jeans. So let's get into it. All right, guys, so let's hop into it. What I did before I turned the camera on is I went ahead to my ironing board and I pressed over each end of my fabric by 1/2 inch. And remember, you can use a regular schmegular ruler just to make sure your measurement is consistent all the way across. You can also use a seam gauge and that'll help give you that nice consistent edge all the way across as well. But once you do that, you are going to take your fabric pieces and essentially hook them together. All right, you want them to lock into place. This is one of the strongest seams that you can sew, and like I mentioned earlier, they are the inner seams that are found typically on jeans, but you can also find them on other types of pants as well. So I'm going to take this fabric and I'm just going to flip it over, and I'm going to carefully, let me turn it so I can see, carefully move the fabric together until I can see that they are indeed hooked in place. And you may have to lift it up just to get both pieces to be sandwiched together. Another way you could do it is to lift up one side and move it like so. Make sure it is there, and then you can fold that side back down. But you want to make sure that the fabric doesn't shift. And then you can fold that fabric back over like so. I don't know why I'm talking like that, but it's fine. All right, so now that I have ensured that, yes, indeed, my fabric is sandwiched together, it is locked nice and tight together, I'm going to grab some pins, and again, you can grab as many pins as are comfortable for you. I'm going to pin going, it will be vertical once I put it to the machine, because I like the idea of being able to pull out my pins down rather than to the side when it comes to this particular type of seam. Remember, pin with the amount that is most comfortable for you. Ooh, that's a dull pin. Let's not use that. Pin with the amount that is most comfortable for you. All right, so now that my fabric is pinned and I've ensured that it is indeed sandwiched together, there are no big gaps in between the two pieces of fabric except for where they're touching, we're gonna go ahead and start sewing. So let's go. All right, guys, so we got our fabric ready to go. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to just get close to the edge. So similar to the seam that I did in the basic hem video, I'm going to sew close to my edge. So it's about, you can do 1/4 of an inch, or if you want to get a little bit closer, you can do like a 1/16 of an inch away from the edge of this fold. That's our goal, and that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and put my needle down in my fabric, and I want to make sure again that those threads are going to the back of the machine so they don't get caught up in my project. Take that deep breath in, and I'm going to go ahead and pull out that first pin. Oops, that was not graceful. Here we go. Remember, take your time, go nice and slow. No rush here. Also sounds like I need to change my needle. Well, I will do that later. So since I've decided to keep my pins in, you want to be sure that you don't accidentally snag your finger as your fabric is feeding itself, as the machine is feeding the fabric through the bottom of, as the machine is feeding the fabric through. You don't want to stab yourself. Be careful. Right? So that is, voila, one side of the seam. But now we have to turn it around and do the other side. So All right, so there are a couple ways you could do this. One method is to use your first row of stitching as a guide to help you with your second set. So you could keep it on the same side, put the presser foot down, and make sure the edge of the presser foot is lined up with that row of stitching, and you could stitch all the way down. I don't know if you can see, but there's also an impression of the other side of this flat felled seam. So it's risky and less accurate, but if you've been sewing for a while, you could technically just eyeball it and go for it, and you will come out with a nice seam as well. Another method is just to turn it around, and you could use the same method we did for the first stitch. You could line up your needle, keep the edge of the fabric as close as possible, and just stitch close to the edge. So for the sake of doing something different, because I normally always do it that way, I'm going to use the edge of my stitching as my guide for my second set. Well, that's why it's very important that your first row of stitches is as clean, straight, and concise as possible. All right. Again, you want to take your time. I'm going to put the needle down in the fabric. Put my presser foot down. And again, it's not a race. Take your time. Take that deep breath. And let's go for it. Here we go. All right, go ahead and slow down, and then we're going to pull it out and stop. And there you go. That is a flat felt seam. You have your first row there, second row there, and we're good to go. All right, congratulations, guys. You finished your first flat felt seam. Big ups to you. I am so proud of you. Thank you for sticking with me through this entire demonstration. Don't forget to share this with a friend, and until next time, peace.